By the time many women hit their late 30s and 40s, cortisol rhythms shift, mornings feel heavy, energy dips, sleep gets sketchy, and waistlines change even when habits haven't. If your mornings start with a foggy brain, jittery coffee, or a rush that never ends, that's your stress hormone pattern talking. First VE designed a simple, 12-minute morning cortisol reset you can do before your phone or your first cup of coffee. It's a mix of breath work to calm the spike, gentle movement to prime metabolism, a short sunlight or grounding practice to reboot your circadian clock, and a quick mindset reset to stop reactivity before it starts. No fancy equipment, no long workouts, just exact timing and cues so you can feel steadier, clearer, and more in control by mid-morning. First, I'll walk you through each step second by second and offer shorter tweaks for really busy days or travel. Try it with me now. Stay through the full 12 minutes and notice the shift in your energy. If you want the time checklist, it's linked below. 1. The morning cortisol spike and anxiety. Cortisol naturally rises after you wake. This is the cortisol awakening response, a built-in surge that helps mobilize energy for the day. It's produced by the adrenal glands and intended to be a short, predictable spike that peaks roughly 30-45 minutes after waking. For many women in their late 30s to 50s, however, that normal spike can feel like an alarm bell, rapid heartbeat, racing thoughts, a jittery rush that lands as anxiety instead of readiness. When the body interprets the morning cortisol burst as a stressor, the amygdala and sympathetic nervous system get pulled into high gear. That means simple things, making breakfast, checking messages, even opening a calendar, can be experienced through a lens of threat. One practical example: you wake, check your phone, and the flood of news and obligations coincides with your cortisol peak. Suddenly, what should be a brief, energizing pulse becomes a prolonged state of hypervigilance. Short-term, this looks like shakiness and scattered thinking. Over time, it can disrupt sleep, mood, and the ability to concentrate. There are concrete ways to shift that morning reaction so cortisol does its job without triggering anxiety. Slow, diaphragmatic breathing engages the vagus nerve and dampens sympathetic overdrive. Try inhaling for 4 counts and exhaling for 6, repeating for 3 to 5 minutes. Gentle movement, like 2 to 5 minutes of slow standing twists or shoulder rolls, helps distribute the hormonal signal through muscles rather than letting it stay stuck as mental tension. Hydration and a small protein-rich bite within the first hour can stabilize blood sugar. Because cortisol's role includes mobilizing glucose and low blood sugar can amplify anxious sensations. Putting these pieces together into a brief, doable sequence matters more than perfection. For example, sit upright beside your bed, drink a small glass of water, then do 3 minutes of paced breathing with soft focus on the exhale. Follow that with 3 minutes of gentle neck and shoulder mobility while keeping your breath steady. Finish with 2 minutes of naming 3 priorities for the day, simple, concrete, and written, so the prefrontal cortex gets a manageable plan to hold on to. These steps reduce the chance that an adaptive cortisol rise becomes a cascade that fuels anxiety. Integrating this into a family or work morning is realistic. Do it while the kettle warms or during the first light of day before screens. If mornings are rushed, compress the breathing and mobility into the first 5 minutes and carry the hydration and planning into the next available pause. Consistency matters. Even short, repeated practice trains your nervous system to read the morning cortisol signal as a cue to prime calmly, not to panic. Try this sequence tomorrow morning and notice one specific change: your heart rate, a thought pattern, or how quickly you feel scattered. Keep it simple and track those shifts for a week. If the wired feeling persists despite these adjustments, consider discussing it with your healthcare provider, because persistent morning anxiety can be part of broader sleep or hormonal patterns that benefit from professional insight. 2. Step-by-step 12-minute timeline. Cortisol naturally surges in the first 30-45 minutes after waking to help you get moving. When that surge is irregular, you might feel wired yet exhausted, crave sugar, or struggle with mid-morning fog. Many women between 35 and 50 notice these patterns more. Shifting hormones, sleep fragments, and life stressors can amplify morning cortisol swings and leave energy scattered. The simple fix isn't another supplement. It's a short, consistent practice that uses light, breath, movement, and intention to steer your nervous system toward calm activation. Start with a clear 12-minute timeline you can follow without thinking. 0:0, 1:0, lying or seated. Do 6 diaphragmatic breaths. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds, repeat 6 times. Breathing at roughly 6 breaths per minute increases heart rate variability and engages the vagus nerve. This is the quick lever that calms an overreactive stress response. Keep the eyes open if you plan to get sunlight next. Simple and grounding. 1:0, 3:0. Stand and face a window or step outside for 2 minutes of natural light while you do gentle neck and shoulder mobility. Slow neck tilts side to side, chin tucks, and 3 shoulder rolls each direction. Morning light helps entrain your circadian rhythm and signals the brain to consolidate wakefulness, so combining it with mobility reduces the jittery, wired feeling. If you live in a low-light season, use the brightest light available or stand near a well-lit window. 3:0, 5:30. Move into a breath-led flow for 2.5 minutes. Inhale to open, arch the spine or lift the chest. Exhale to fold, round the spine or hinge at the hips. Examples: standing cat-cow, hands on thighs, gentle spine arch on inhale, round on exhale, forward lunges with an exhale to deepen, and hip circles. Coordinate breath and movement so breath anchors each transition. This synchrony calms the sympathetic spike while mobilizing joints. 5:30, 8:0. Energize with a controlled activation block for 2.5 minutes. March in place with exaggerated arm swings for 60 seconds. Then perform 45 seconds of sit-to-stands from a chair or supported shallow squats, finishing with 45 seconds of slow hip hinges or Romanian deadlift style reaches to wake posterior muscles. Aim for purposeful movement rather than high intensity. Gentle elevation of heart rate helps cortisol do its job without overshooting into stress territory. If you have knee pain, swap sit-to-stands for seated knee extensions and continue marching seated. 8:0, 10:30. Shift into balance and core connection for 2.5 minutes. Single leg stands 30 seconds per side. Use a wall for support if needed, followed by 30 seconds of diaphragmatic abdominal bracing while seated or standing. Inhale to expand belly. Exhale to gently draw belly button towards spine, and finish with a 30-second forward fold to release the low back. These practices integrate the nervous system and posture, reducing mid-morning tension and improving stability for the day. 10:30, 12:0. Close with 1 minute of box breathing. Inhale 4 seconds, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4, repeat. Then 30 seconds to state a single, specific intention aloud. One short sentence that focuses your priorities, for example. First, we'll choose one nourishing action before noon. Box breathing resets autonomic balance. The spoken intention primes the prefrontal cortex to reduce reactive decisions. Smile for a few seconds after saying it. Small ritual, big psychological effect. Make this routine a plug-and-play component of your morning. Do it before checking your phone or having caffeine to avoid amplifying stress signals. If you're short on privacy with kids or partners, compress segments. Keep breathing, light, and intention, or perform the routine in 2 shorter bursts. Breathing and light exposure first, then movement after bathroom/hydration. No equipment needed. A chair and a sunny window suffice. Track one simple metric: energy level after the second cup of coffee, mood at mid-morning, or how long you go without a sugary snack, and note changes subjectively. Ready to try it? Set a 12-minute timer tomorrow. Follow the timeline exactly, and pay attention to subtle shifts in calmness and clarity. Small, consistent steps beat sporadic extremes. If a move feels uncomfortable, modify it. The goal is sustainable practice, not perfection. 3. Essential box breathing techniques. Morning tension often shows up as a racing mind, tight shoulders, or that jittery, already behind feeling before the day even begins. The stress response wired into your nervous system can push cortisol and adrenaline into higher gear, making it harder to think clearly or settle into a calm morning. Many women juggling work, family, and changing bodies find that a simple breath practice creates an immediate anchor. Box breathing is a structured, easy-to-learn technique that uses equal-length inhale, hold, exhale, and hold phases to reset the nervous system. Sit or stand tall with one hand on your lower ribs and the other on your belly so you can feel diaphragm movement. Breathe in through the nose for a steady count of 4. Fill the belly first and then the chest. Hold the breath gently for 4 counts. Exhale slowly through the nose for 4 counts, letting the belly draw in. Then hold the empty breath for 4 counts before repeating. If 4 seconds feels long, start with 3-count cycles. If you're comfortable, some people extend to 5 for a deeper effect. Pause if you feel lightheaded, and avoid forcing anything. Comfort is key. This technique works by shifting breathing from shallow, stress-driven patterns into a paced rhythm that encourages parasympathetic activation and improved vagal tone. In practice, that means heart rate tends to slow, attention sharpens, and the body's fight-or-flight signals quiet down. Use concrete examples. Do 1 to 3 cycles while still in bed to interrupt automatic morning stress. Or do a quick round at the kitchen counter while your coffee brews to create a calm baseline before your first email. For times when hot flashes or breathlessness occur, shorten hold phases or focus only on gentle inhales and long exhales until the sensation settles. Make it part of a real morning habit so it sticks. Place a sticky note on your alarm. Use the first light in the bathroom as your cue, or pair 1 box breath cycle with the habit of washing your face. A simple script you can whisper to yourself. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Try 1 round right now before you reach for your phone and notice whether your shoulders drop and your thoughts unclench. If it helps, set a reminder to practice again later in the day. Consistency is what shifts the nervous system over time. 4. Lymphatic drainage for morning puffiness. Many women in midlife wake to a softer, puffier face caused by overnight fluid shifts, hormonal fluctuations that affect water retention, and a lymphatic system that relies on movement and pressure changes rather than a central pump. Puffy eyelids, a swollen jawline, and a dense feeling under the cheekbones are common complaints. Salt, alcohol, sleeping position, and inflammation all play a role. The lymphatic vessels that remove excess interstitial fluid sit very close to the skin and can be helped by gentle, directed work. Manual lymphatic drainage is a gentle, effective approach to reduce morning puffiness because it moves fluid toward the major lymph nodes where it can be processed. It's not about deep pressure. Light, rhythmic strokes, and steady breathing are the key. Tools like your fingertips, a soft gua sha, or a lightweight roller can help, but they must be used with a feather touch. Breathing techniques that engage the diaphragm increase thoracic duct flow and support whole body drainage at the same time. Start your brief routine on clean skin with a drop of oil to reduce friction. Use very light pressure and think of moving the fluid toward the lymph node basins. Sweep from the center of the forehead outward to the temples. Glide from the inner corners of the eyes across the cheek to the preauricular nodes near the ears. Follow the jawline to the submandibular area, and finish by sweeping down the sides of the neck toward the clavicles. Coordinate with slow, diaphragmatic breaths. Inhale to expand the belly. Exhale as you sweep downward, and keep motion slow and repetitive so the lymphatics have time to respond. Gentle circular taps just in front of the ear or at the base of the skull can help stimulate nearby nodes. Make this easy to fold into your morning. Do the sequence after cleansing and before makeup, or while you sip your coffee and wait for water to boil. Pair the massage with a glass of room temperature water and an extra deep breath or 2 to boost central clearance. Lifestyle tweaks amplify results. Limit late-night salty meals and alcohol. Avoid sleeping face down, and elevate your head slightly if you note frequent morning puffiness. If you like devices, choose smooth, light tools and relearn pressure. Heavier isn't better for lymphatics. Try a gentle practice today and note how your face feels after several sessions. If you notice persistent asymmetry, hard swelling, pain, open wounds, active infection, or if you have a diagnosed lymphatic disorder or recent surgery, stop and consult a healthcare professional or a certified lymphatic drainage therapist before continuing. Share what works for you, and consider booking a professional session if you want tailored guidance. 5. Hormone-regulating spices. Cortisol spikes and shifting sex hormone balance often show up as afternoon sugar cravings, disrupted sleep, and stubborn weight gain for women in their late 30s to 50s. This hormonal noise is part physiological and part lifestyle-driven. Inflammation, blood sugar swings, and stress signaling all amplify each other. The good news is that simple culinary spices, used regularly and thoughtfully, can nudge those systems towards steadier rhythms without adding pills or complicated regimens. Start by thinking of spices as tiny, concentrated tools that target different pathways. Some calm inflammation, some support blood sugar control, some modulate cortisol signaling, and others enhance nutrient absorption. Turmeric, curcumin, is a go-to because of its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. When combined with a pinch of black pepper, it becomes far more bioavailable. Cinnamon helps blunt post-meal glucose spikes and reduces insulin-driven cortisol responses, making it useful sprinkled on oatmeal or stirred into coffee. Ginger soothes digestion and lowers certain inflammatory markers, which can indirectly ease stress physiology. A little grated or steeped in hot water is an easy morning ritual. For stronger hormonal effects, adaptogenic spices like holy basil, tulsi, and, in moderation, licorice root deserve attention. Tulsi teas have been studied for their ability to reduce perceived stress and may help lower morning cortisol in some people. Licorice root can inhibit the enzyme that inactivates cortisol, 1,1-beta-HSD2, effectively amplifying cortisol's action. This can relieve fatigue for some, but it can also raise blood pressure and interact with many medications, so use only with professional guidance. Fenugreek and fennel contain compounds that influence estrogenic activity and support healthy blood sugar. They're particularly easy to add to yogurt, smoothies, or savory breakfasts, though women with hormone-sensitive conditions should check with their clinician first. Saffron and rosemary offer mood-supporting and antioxidant benefits that complement the other spices without strong hormonal stimulation. Practical morning integrations keep this simple and repeatable. Try a warm turmeric latte. 1/2 teaspoon ground turmeric whisked into a cup of milk or plant milk with a pinch of black pepper and 1/4 teaspoon cinnamon. Sip slowly as part of a mindful 12-minute start. Add 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon to your bowl of oats or sprinkle it on cottage cheese with berries. Brew a cup of tulsi tea while you stretch, or blitz ginger and lemon into a quick shot, and follow with a protein-rich breakfast to stabilize blood sugar. When using fenugreek, begin with small culinary amounts, a pinch to 1/4 teaspoon, to gauge tolerance, because its flavor is potent and it can affect hormones. Always favor Ceylon cinnamon for daily use to minimize coumarin exposure, and avoid regular licorice use if you have hypertension or are on blood pressure, heart, or steroid medications. Track results in simple ways. Note energy levels 2-3 hours after breakfast, record sleep quality, and monitor cravings. Experiment for a week with one spice-focused swap: turmeric latte for coffee, cinnamon on breakfast, tulsi tea after waking, and observe changes. If you're taking medications, pregnant, breastfeeding, or have a history of hormone-sensitive conditions, check with your healthcare provider before introducing concentrated herbal supplements. Try a 7-day spice experiment. Keep a short morning log, and if something improves, make that small change part of your regular routine. 6. Setting the day's calm tone. Cortisol naturally rises after waking in a pattern called the cortisol awakening response, and for many women in their late 30s and 40s, that surge can be amplified by sleep fragmentation, caregiving stress, or the emotional load of work and family. That amplified morning reactivity often leaves you reaching for your phone, caffeine, or a hurried to-do list before your nervous system has had a chance to settle. The result is a day that begins reactive rather than intentional, which can worsen anxiety, disrupt appetite cues, and make focus harder to sustain. A focused 12-minute practice can reset that tone. Small, repeatable habits that nudge the nervous system toward calm and clarity before the day's demands arrive. Start by designating those 12 minutes as non-negotiable and low-tech. Keep your phone across the room or on Do Not Disturb. Hydration, gentle movement, intentional breathing, brief sunlight exposure, and a quick mind reset are the core ingredients. They work together to shift physiology and intention without requiring a big time commitment. Begin with a simple sequence you can reproduce even on rushed mornings. Sit up and drink a full glass of water to rehydrate the body after sleep. Then spend 2 minutes on slow diaphragmatic breathing. Place a hand on your belly and breathe so the hand rises and falls. Aim for relaxed exhalations that feel slightly longer than the inhales. Move into 3 minutes of gentle mobility. Ankle rolls, shoulder circles, and a standing side stretch to wake joints and signal that movement is safe. Step outside or stand by a window for natural light for 2 to 3 minutes. Even a few minutes of bright light helps anchor circadian cues and reduces grogginess. Then take 3 minutes for a low-effort cognitive reset. 1 minute gratitude, or what would make today good noting, followed by 2 minutes of visualizing one achievable priority and the first concrete step to take. Finish with a quick protein-rich snack or a balanced breakfast choice if you have time. A few nuts and Greek yogurt or an egg and whole grain toast to stabilize appetite and support steady energy. Practical examples make this easy to adopt. If you wake to an alarm at 6:30 and rush to kids' breakfasts, put a pre-filled water bottle on your nightstand and practice 3 belly breaths before you leave the bedroom. On mornings packed with meetings, shift the sunlight step to your commute by opening a sunroof briefly or standing near a bright window while you sip. For perimenopausal symptoms like night sweats, choose cooler, breathable clothing for the breathing portion and keep a fan nearby during the mobility phase. If mornings are unpredictable, try 2 repetitions of a condensed 4-minute cycle. Water, 2 breaths, 1 minute intention. So the practice is flexible without losing impact. Commit to a trial and make micro adjustments. Place a sticky note on your bathroom mirror as a cue. Set a gentle alarm labeled 12-minute reset. Or pair the routine with a small reward like your favorite herbal tea after completion. Try this sequence for a week and observe what shifts in your mood, patience, and energy. Tweak the order and timing until it fits your life. Start tomorrow. Put a glass of water by the bed and switch your phone to Do Not Disturb for the first 15 minutes. Then follow the 12-minute flow and notice how deliberately beginning can change the rest of your day. If your mornings feel heavy, energy dips, or the scale and mood don't budge, you're not imagining it. After 40, our cortisol rhythm often skews, leaving us wired, tired, and out of balance. That's the problem. The solution is simple and realistic. A focused 12-minute morning cortisol reset you can actually fit into a busy life. It's built to calm the stress response, cue healthy hormone rhythms, and give you steady energy through the day. Quick recap of the key points. Start with 2-3 minutes of slow, diaphragmatic breathing to down-regulate cortisol. Follow with gentle mobility and 4 minutes of sun-facing or bright light exposure to reset your circadian cue. Hydrate with a glass of water and add a protein-rich bite within an hour. Finish with 2-3 minutes of grounding intention or journaling to set your stress tone. Together, these steps shift your mornings without drastic changes. Make it part of your routine by pairing it with what you already do, while the kettle warms, after brushing your teeth, or before checking your phone. Aim for consistency, 5-7 days a week, or start with 2 weeks and notice the difference. Adjust timing and intensity to how your body feels. If this felt doable, try it tomorrow and tell me how you feel in the comments. Hit subscribe for more short, science-backed resets for women 35, 50, and grab the free checklist in the description to practice with ease. Next week, First will share a sleep reset and hormone-friendly breakfast ideas to support your progress. See you then.